Hi, my name is Winsley, and welcome to my video going over the new content announcement for Age of Wonders 4. Today they announced the expansion pass 2 and the Piglet update. And one of the really neat things that I noticed immediately is this Heralds of Glory is an instant unlock. The Way of War has actually been announced for November 5th, so pretty soon, 2024, and Giant Kings is coming in Q2 of 2025, and Archon Prophecies is coming out in Q3 of 2025. And I'm really loving all the information they're giving to us right at the beginning of this season pass. It reminds me of the last one quite a lot, where they gave us descriptions of all the new stuff that we're going to be getting. I think if we go like to the Steam page here, we can actually see a lot about the um, Way of Worlds, or what was it? Way of Wars. I still don't know them. Ways of War has a lot of information on the Steam page, whereas yeah, Herald of Glory, it has less here. It's less of a big piece of content, and it looks like to me that this one might be like a free unlock. It might be something to encourage people, kind of like the anniversary edition. I'm still trying to break down the prices of these guys. I'm pretty sure the this one should cost around $10 or $20, like the content in the last season pass. It actually doesn't seem to indicate too much about these guys right here, like it would with the um what was it, the last packs, like oh gosh, I'm blanking on all the other DLCs we go here, we just go to Age of Wonders 4, you can see the general price for the other DLCs. The Dragon Dawn, right? This one, if we go here, it's, I want to say, was $10 if you bought it separately. Yeah, you can see it right there. It says it's been brought down to $8. But you got a pretty good deal if you bought it in the pack. I think you saved like 20 or 30%. So they're doing something pretty similar with the discounts as well. But yeah, if we go back here and we try to compare that to Herald of Glory, I'm not seeing a price for this one. It looks like you just kind of unlock it. And then if we go here, um, I'm not seeing a price for this one yet, but I have a feeling that kind of information would actually be listed here, where they say you're going to save 17% if you buy everything right out of the gate. We're actually going to talk a little bit about the puzzle that they posted last week, helping us get excited for this. That actually was something that allowed us to get excited for the date of November 5th. I'm still in shock that we actually have content today. This is amazing that we can just go in and experience Herald of Glory. Um, but I still don't know what that is yet. I'm still kind of reacting to this trailer that I saw not too long ago. In fact, why don't we take a little look at this right here? Audio should come through a little loud. Let's turn that down. We saw a dragon there, some cannons. This looks like the Umbral layer. They may be just kind of like being like, hey, look at some other stuff we've done in the past. New stuff is coming soon. And I know a good chunk of them, this is them talking about content in general, just like the game. There's a lot of buzzwords that they use here. Yes, orcs, elves, make industrial empires, alligators, but there are images in here, so keep a close eye out for little things as they pop up. Yeah, that's stuff I think that we had beforehand. The sovereigns, that's new. That's really cool. Let's hold up. Let's go back here. What are you? You're some kind of aquatic looking creature? Is that a turtle? Is that an evil turtle? I think it might be. I love the look of him. I don't know which DLC he's coming in, but I'm excited. This is an image that kind of like shows off all four of them. I think we have like Wave the War over here. We have the Giant Kings over here. We have the um, Valkyrie, I want to say, over here in the top right. And this must be the Archon Prophecies that I haven't seen much yet on. I haven't read all of the details. I wanted to try and put a video out relatively quickly here. That was Wave of the Wars. Giant rulers. Yes, I'm a giant. Let's make giant rulers. Oh, that looks cool. That was like a dragon bone location on the mountains. Archons. Woo. Love it. I bet there's more in here I haven't noticed in the background. Keep an eye out. Let's see what else there is. To see these heralds, wow, they look really good. So gold. Is this new? Is that more color options than they used to have? Ooh, wait, Pegasus. I hadn't even considered this a flying mounted unit. That could be good. We already have a few like that, but I wonder how the Pegasus will deviate from the Eagle mounts. If it will be any different, or if it will work pretty much mechanically the same. Better narrative experience. That's good. I'm excited for that because I wasn't too thrilled by a lot of the story realms in the previous ones. Although I did think Eldritch Realms did a good one. Ooh, what's that? That was a pretty interesting looking dragon. So we're getting like maybe new structures that have to do with Asian culture in some way or form. That looked like oh gosh, blossom trees, cherry blossom trees.
For now, we're excited to give you a sneak peek.
It's nice seeing all these guys I recognize. That's a tome. I wonder which tome that is for. Probably something new, or that we get relatively soon. Alright, here we go, sneak peek. That's different. Wonder what the impact of that will be. New two-handed sword there. Looked like a katana is going to be a two-handed weapon. And let's see, what else do we have here on the left? Some kind of magic user and some kind of archer. There must be more information on this that we can unpack in the description. We'll get to that pretty soon here. But let's just take a little bit look at things in general before we really dive into them. So if we go back to the this page, I was already on it, we can see that if we go down from here, Way of War, it looks like they put all the features that they wanted to talk about right here. Actually, there's more here about, I think, Heralds of Glory and some other details that we hadn't quite gotten. So let's just take a minute and read through this. Oathsworn culture. We're getting a new culture, unique warrior code, strong enough to adhere to ethos. They swear oaths of righteousness to focus on annihilating evil, oath of strife to wage war on the strong and worthy, and oath of harmony to try and avoid war whenever possible. So it looks like you get a couple choices of oaths, and that can really impact how the culture is played. That might be kind of like subcultures with the mystic culture. I think that sounds pretty interesting. Intrigue events that threaten your empire, kind of like cosmic events. Wait, I hadn't considered this. This sounds really neat. This is going to be something that can throw some curveballs at some players in a couple different ways, and I assume that means you can do intrigue events. I don't know if that means assassinating other people's heroes without going into combat. I don't know if I love that or if I hate that, because in multiplayer games I've seen other people just focusing the streamer or other situations where they're just constantly assassinating somebody's ruler, so I could see that being a little cheesy, but sounds really neat in concept. We get two new forms, the simian and the ogrekin. Okay, so like a monkey type hairy creature and ogrekin. Okay, so big ogres probably look a little silly, but I'd love to know more about what that actually means. Like ogres generally are bigger and bulkier things, so maybe that's built into that, but there's usually a lot of variation on how you use the forms. 4 new tomes. Okay, that's a lot. We get Art of Discipline, Shades, Calamity, and Prosperity. Not nothing. This sounds pretty interesting at a glance. You get we don't know much more about them right here, but we might be able to, if we go over to the Steam page, we may be able to see some images of what they look like and what they do. So much more. You get new mounts, new music, yes, creatures. I love creatures, and templates and an interface skin. The dev journals, we're going to get something on October 3rd. That's over super soon. Wait, hold up. They're going to do a stream? I'm going to have to summarize that and cover it here on the channel on Tuesday. Coming 2025, there's going to be Giant Kings and Archon Prophecy. Okay, so this is actually what I was going to go over later when we took a little bit of a look at this page, because they haven't posted much. If we compare this to this like I did earlier, they've posted a lot more information here. In fact, there's more information about the tomes. This is a tier 1 tome, tier 2 tome, tier 4 tome, and tier 4 tome. That's interesting that we're getting no tier 3 tome. I didn't like Tome of Corruption, and I don't know if that kind of if people's opinions about those tomes and the way they interacted influence this, but I'm glad to see that they've moved some of the like really powerful things into tier 4s and not tier 3. Channel strength, unlock a monk unit. Okay, interesting. We're getting a new unit there for tier 1s. Probably tier 2 unit actually in the tier 1 tomes, you generally get tier 2 units. This next tome shades is going to let you get an assassin unit. Ooh, ooh, that sounds cool. So you can use like the assassinate ability probably on a unit. If a unit has like lower health, it might be easier to kill them off. Um, Let's see, Calamity makes things cold, and Ghostfire gives access to Calamity units. And then I guess Prosperity would be kind of like the antithesis or the opposite. This would be Prosperity units. So like when things are going well, you're gonna have these kinds of guys that are probably covered in gold. Calamity units are probably like not covered in gold and probably more covered in rags and maybe cold stuff, or they use Ghostfire. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Looks like Grace is capitalized here, which makes me think that might be a new interaction. I love it. Um, believe that must be most of what's here. Oh, we get a Blessed Dragon, a White Warg, and a Graceful Judge as the new mounts. Yeah, there's a good amount of information here if you really wanted to dive into it. Now, do they give us more images? We get to see this one. That must be Simian form. Excellent. Love it. This looks like a new creature over here. I think that might have appeared in the trailer very briefly, but I forgot to mention it. Um, this looks like some kind of a location and maybe a new creature or just an ogre over there. One of these guys has to be the new unit types that they mentioned, like the monk or the assassin. Like I would imagine they put that in here. Okay, cool. We get to see a little bit more about the tone of shades here. Rendering shadows, shade, shadow blades, living shadows, shade network. I assume living shadows creates like spawns on the map. That sounds really interesting, and I'm really excited to know more about this. Materium shadow, interesting combination because I think we had Materium Shadow with Tome of Severing. So I will have to know more about where they're going with the tomes now, if they've kind of like deviated from their previous stuff. Hold up. Prosperity Dragon does how much damage? Radiant Spike and Radiant Rebuke. It does a lot of spirit damage. Okay, this is a good unit. This I'm sure is going to be very fun to play around with. I can't wait to use this in some of our skirmishes just to see how it fits in to the general rosters and how it plays against other units. Gosh, this is gonna be really fun. We're gonna get a lot of dragons with this one, and Draconic Rage is really fun. It's really neat how that gives you more damage when your unit's already beat up. I don't know what Reign of Prosperity is. Bestow Mansca's Prosperity probably boosts your own friendly units. Reign of Prosperity probably does something similar, or maybe it hurts the enemy. I'd love to know what people are thinking when they look at this unit and the stats that are associated with it. We also have a little event chain, you meeting a city. There may be something in here that I'm not seeing, but I think they're just showing off the art, the aesthetic a little bit here. Governor, Elder Staff, Renown. Wait, hold up. I don't remember seeing this before. This seems new. This hero aims to lead and experience. So they can be an instructor, maybe? 99 points in order to level up? What does that mean? Hero leads an army full of legendary units. They'll get 200 renown and some points to trainer, maybe. Minor ambition, rank up all units in this army will give you 10 renown. That's repeatable. So I guess you can just level up your units and then use that to get higher ranks of renown. Okay, this renown system seems really, really interesting, but I don't know enough about it at this point at a glance to say more than we've already mentioned. There's a skill in the bottom right here called Harmonize. There's another one called Inner Fire. Gosh, there's so much that we can say here. A cursed trickster. This must be a calamity unit. Okay, duplicity, um, tricky escape, maddening phantasm. Okay, that sounds like it's gonna drive people insane. I kind of love it. Insane is very strong, but I want to know how far away you can use this from people. If your unit's just gonna die if you get too close before like um, making your plan to turn things insane, or if you can just use that from really far away and you're generally safe. Yeah, Ghostfire. It says Ghostfire here. That was the calamity thing that it mentioned earlier in the text. And then Tome of Discipline. This is our last screenshot that they gave us. You can see Mantra of Purification, the Monk unit, Inner Manistery, Focus Aim, and Powered Strikes. And we also get to know that we have an Order Materium tome or interaction. There's a building there called Monastery, but we don't know more about it at this point. All right, so we've talked a lot about the um, ways of war, mostly because that just came up pretty organically here. I want to dive into what we're getting, I think, for free today. If you get the expansion pass, you should be able to unlock this. So I guess it's probably not free, but I'm not too sure just at a glance. I can't see the prices on these or their intended prices. And in the future, it says it might be sold separately, so I assume eventually it should have some kind of price associated with it. So this says a new age announced through the thundering hooves and beating wings. The Heralds of Glory descend, envoys bring the salvation, and the rival Archons. This must be a response to Urath. I think the Archons and the Valkyrie in previous games became more prominent, or they were more prevalent or more common, I guess is what I'm trying to say, after Shadow Things came and invaded Athla. I think in previous Age of Wonders games. There's an armor set that you get here. It gives you a little winged helmet, some surcoat, and I don't know what that other word is. It must be like just their chest piece type thing. Um, it's I believe just cosmetic. A lot of these things are just cosmetic, but it sounds like a fun thing for you to play around with. So faction content, Pegasus mounts, Swift Marchers, and Lance of Glory. Swift Marchers, I think, is a society trait. They've discovered new time to pass time. Jousting, I love it. Jousting was just out of Ren Fair recently, so this is just it's awesome. I love Age of Wonders. I love all how it just kind of like makes sense like in my life. I love all the themes and all the different things you can do. Um, we get the Lance of Glory hero loadout, which I guess means you get a new weapon and a new interaction. These things can be pretty strong. I'm actually really interested to know how strong it is relative to like the Dire Staff casting, the Dire Caster Staff of Insanity or whatever it was called, because that thing was really, really strong. Just being able to drop Insanity on multiple units was just amazing. Regal Pegasus will change things using the exotic mount trait, but of course you don't have to take the exotic mount trait if you just want flying horses. You can take that and use your points to get other interactions. The Marcher's trait grants you the ability to use Force March right from the start of the game. That's not great. Force March on certain units is going to be too good. But then again, barbarians, they can't heal using their outposts using after they've used Force March, because I think Force March gets rid of healing, but that sounds slightly problematic. I don't know if I love that. Of course, it is coming in as society trait, so we can just tell people don't use this in multiplayer. So I guess if it matches the theme, it's acceptable. But I don't know. That is not something I get particularly excited about when I see that. Force March is just like a way for some people to cover the map better and just outplay people in a way that I don't enjoy. It just kind of seems like a taking advantage of the rules instead of engaging people in combat. Um, I've seen people like force combats using Force March before and building roads at the last minute just because like they're waiting for people to leave their stuff exposed. And I think that encourages kind of like less fun gameplay. All right, Piglet update. What is this? Update for the new expansion pass. We had trouble coming up with the name. I love the piglets. Okay, that is amazing because that unit was really fun in Planetfall, um, and it's really fun that they have it again in Age of Wonders 4. So love it, really fun. You guys are awesome. What else is in here? Updated this. Content banners, preview and icons are now shown in the menu. Force March fixes. Okay, that's so fixed an issue where health loss did not accurately reflect modifiers. Fixed a double percent in the Force March tooltip. So that's pretty much everything they have to say about the expansion pass. And I think at this point we can take a little bit more of a look at. Yeah, there's no prices here, are there? But the second expansion pass, that must have a price that you can pay if you wanted to. If I were to just look at their page, Age of Wonders 4, where are you? Is this just saying you get all of this, including the new stuff? I think it might be the bundle. Okay, I'm gonna move on because I'm not seeing it right now. All right, we've already watched the video, and this is talking about Dragon Dawn. I think I had something else up here at one point. Do we have any screenshots to go along with this? Is that it? One of one screenshots to go with the Heralds of Glory DLC. We already talked a lot about the Ways of War. It makes sense that they put out more information about that. That thing's coming pretty soon. They want to get people excited for it. I'm most excited for Giant Kings because, for those of you who don't know, I'm a little bit I'm pretty tall. I'm over 2 meters tall. Let's just say that. So this is gonna be fun for me. Probably gonna be giant rulers for a long time, just for theme. Um, were there screenshots in here? It looks like to me that we're just getting the one screenshot with this giant ruler in his crown. I'm not sure if this is like any of the giants that are currently in the game, but I feel like none of them have that crown. I think that might be a special giant. Have we got more information in here? Explore the ruins of a fallen empire, probably a giant empire. Crystal magic to empower your armies. Delve into forgotten treasures beneath the earth. Okay, so there's probably more underground interactions here. Interesting. Interesting. These regions are handcrafted, kind of like the Umbral Abyss. It sounds like that's neat because I really like the content that was made by Luis, and I want to assume that this probably got Luis running it, and I'll be very very happy if that's the case. He'll make my giants very fun and customizable. That's one thing I noticed about the content that he worked on. That's Primal Fury and Dragon Dawn. You had a lot of really neat choices at the beginning of the game that changed how you approach everything else. And then Archon Prophecy, we could talk about the story elements that are probably involved here. I know the Archons and the Endalians are becoming more prominent. I think there was the Shadow Endalian and the Chaos Endalian in previous story realms, but people are saying there's probably going to be a nature one, probably something that has to do with water, but I'm not seeing that here. Um, Force of Light, join the Celestial Archons, consult oracles, and hidden prophecies to shape the fate of the realms, master your own destiny. Contains a new culture. Yeah, I think this is the Archon culture that I saw somebody in Discord talking about. It's going to be story, content, and prophecy events. So I have to assume prophecy events are going to be like cosmic events and like the intrigue events that we covered previously. Um, but yeah, that's everything that I can think of here. I think we'll wrap up this video here. And if you have anything else you want to share, anything that I may have missed, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, have a good one.